Everyone talks about OpenStack cloud computing nowadays. So why it has become so famous? So that we'll discuss first. Then we'll go to the course content, and after that I'll tell you. So what are the things we are going to do in the class? So first, so you can go to Google and you can type OpenStack cloud computing companies. So yeah, so this openstack.org foundation slash companies. So if you go to this link, so after going through this link, you will understand why cloud OpenStack became so famous and why people are using. So here, if you see, these are the companies who are the member of OpenStack Foundation. So in 2010, actually NASA and Rackspace, so they were working on OpenStack, and initially we had Nova and Swift. So only two components we were having, and later they created a OpenStack Foundation, and many companies joined that foundation, and now we have more than 25 modules available in OpenStack. So these are the main companies so which are involved in OpenStack development and OpenStack Foundation. So Red Hat, AT&T. So AT&T almost all their data centers, around 125 data centers they are having worldwide. So almost all data centers they converted into OpenStack environment. So Huawei and Ericsson. So Ericsson is also converting their data centers into OpenStack, and also they are promoting this to their end customers. Red Hat, and Red Hat not only using OpenStack, so they are providing service on OpenStack to end customers. So they
Hey,
recently they,
sir,
yeah,
can you wait for a minute? Shashi would like to join.
okay,
Have you sent the invite to him?
yes, I have sent.
Sorry for that. Just give me a minute, okay?
Yeah, sure. So if you see the list here, so AT&T, so AT&T converted all their data centers into OpenStack, around 125 data centers they were having. So all are now with OpenStack. And Ericsson, so Ericsson is using OpenStack in their environment, and they are promoting to their customers also. Huawei, so Huawei also using OpenStack widely. Intel, Rackspace, SUSE, Red Hat. So these are the platinum members of this foundation. So next, if you look at other members, so they are also very important members. And China Telecom. So China Telecom is a biggest telecom company in the world, and they are having uh, uh, I think 150,000 VMs running on OpenStack environment. So they have very big setup, OpenStack setup, and they have been using OpenStack for the last 2 years. So China Mobile and 99 Cloud, uh, this is China Unicron, and Dell EMC. So they also started using Fiber Home. I think you find all Fortune 500 companies here, NEC, NetApp. So especially you'll find all telecom companies and networking companies. So they don't have any other option other than OpenStack. So if you see Ericsson, Juniper, and Cisco, and many companies will come. I'll show you. So Accenture, Arista is also a networking company, and Brocade, Citrix, Comcast also having big setup in OpenStack environment. So they are not only using it, they are contributing to OpenStack software also. So GoDaddy is also biggest customer. So they are having more than 90,000 VMs running in OpenStack environment. Juniper, this is another networking company. Lenovo, Nokia networking company. PayPal is also a very big customer of OpenStack. Orange, PayPal. SAP also providing. They are running their platform on OpenStack infrastructure. Samsung is also one of the user. I'm just telling the main name. Verizon, that is also telecom service provider. And these are the few hundreds of companies, and
Yeah,
almost.
we see our company. We also see our company over there.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, T-Mobile.
Yeah. T-Mobile telecom service provider. So almost all providers. So in India, so we are having Reliance Jio, so which is the biggest user of OpenStack. So I think they invested more than 1 billion in this OpenStack infrastructure. So their entire networks runs on OpenStack. And Snapdeal is using OpenStack. As per my knowledge, there may be other companies which might be using. Yeah, I think these are few hundreds of companies you can see. These companies not only using and supporting the OpenStack, so they are contributing to OpenStack. So in OpenStack, we have a release for every 6 months. So the release name is in alphabetical order. So first we have A, B, C. I didn't remember C, D, E. E is SX, I guess. F is, I started working from F release. F is Folsom, and after that we have G, Grizzly, and H, Havana, I, Icehouse, J, Juno, K, Kilo, L, Liberty, M, M, Liberty, uh, N, Newton, M, I didn't remember. Okay. O, Okata, P, Pike, Q. Right now, Q release development is going on. That is Q. And so, like that, they name the release names in alphabetical order. And right now, Q release is going on. So, every 6 months, we are having a release. So, if you give OpenStack releases, so not only these companies, along with these companies, there are thousands of individual contributors. So since it's an open store, so anybody, I mean, who has have knowledge in OpenStack can join this forum, and they can take the bugs, they can take the blueprints, and they can fix them. So I also joined as an individual contributor, and I took some bugs, and I took some blueprints, and I fixed those things. And also you can take the bugs and you can test the bugs, or else you can take the software and test the top software. If it is giving any error, you can raise a bug. So in that way also you can contribute if you want. OpenStack release list. So because this much huge uh, community support is there, so M is Mitaka, sorry. So support is there, that's why it is evolving like anything. And initially there were some problems, like stability problems were there, but now uh, these problems got resolved because many big companies are involved in this. So that's why people got confidence on this software, and they started deploying it. And there are I mean deployments where they are using more than 100,000 VMs. So since such deployments are available, that's why people got confidence on that and they started deploying. And one more advantage with OpenStack is uh, anybody can take that software and they can deploy on their environment. So let's say I want to set up my own cloud, then just download the software from the internet and do the setup. So in the today's our class, we'll be doing the same thing. So we'll be what we'll be doing is let me draw a picture, then it will be more clear. Yeah. So we'll be, I think some people might have Mac, some people have Windows, some people might have Linux machines. as your host machine in the sense you might be using those machines. So then what we will be doing is we'll be downloading VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox from the internet. So this has support on, I mean, if you are using Windows, you can install on Windows. If you are using Mac, you can install uh, VirtualBox on Mac. If you are using Linux, then also you can install VirtualBox on the Linux machine. So then using VirtualBox, we'll be creating two VMs. So our setup will be exactly same as the OpenStack production setup only. So there is no difference. So we'll be creating two VMs. One will be acting as controller. So what is controller, that we will learn in the class. So means it will have some services, OpenStack services running on that, and the other one will act as compute. Compute is the one where actual VMs will get created. So on these two VMs, we'll be installing CentOS, because CentOS is very close to Red Hat, and most of the machines are in the world are with Red Hat. So that's why we are using CentOS in our uh, training lab. So we'll be booting CentOS on these two VMs, and OpenStack supports on CentOS, Red Hat.
So CentOS is the operating system, right?
Yeah, CentOS is the operating system which we'll be using in the class.
Yeah, it's a Linux based, right?
Yes, Linux based. OpenStack supports only Linux as of now. So it
Okay.
supports on CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora, and you can use Ubuntu,
Mhm.
and you can use OpenSUSE.
Okay.
OpenSUSE Linux also you can use. So on these,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't have any knowledge on the Linux
yeah, that
servers
is
or
fine. So if you
OS.
don't have any
Okay.
knowledge, so OpenStack doesn't expect you to have knowledge on that. So only
Okay.
some basic commands you need to learn, VI commands. So let's say how to
Okay.
open a file. If you want to add something to that file on Linux, how to do that. So everything will be showing in the class. And let's say if you are not able to, I mean, do those commands I'll teach you how to do. So
Thank you.
even the students who are studying second year, third year engineering, they are able to deploy OpenStack on their own. So only minimal knowledge on Linux is required. That is opening the file, executing the command, and opening the file and editing the file. So the only these three, if you know, then you can learn. If you don't know, then also I'll be teaching that in the class. The commands is very
Yeah,
simple.
thank you. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
is very simple. So it supports it will only it can run on these operating system as of now, and anything you can use. So since the deployment on CentOS and Ubuntu will be same only. The only difference is for CentOS we'll be using different package names. Package names will be changes. Configuration wise same. Package names will change, and also service names will change. That's it. So here, let's say you are installing Keystone. Here, Nova. Let's say you are installing Nova Compute. Here in CentOS, we'll call OpenStack hyphen Nova hyphen Compute package will be installing. Whereas in Ubuntu, the package name might be different. It might be Nova hyphen Compute only. And here the service name is OpenStack hyphen Nova hyphen Compute dot service. Here the service name may be Nova-compute.service. Only service names will change, but the entire configuration, whatever the columns we add, everything is same. So there is no difference. So if you are able to deploy on one operating system, deploying on other operating system is also easy. So it's your choice, but in the class, my suggestion is first learn with CentOS, because most of the machines are with Red Hat, and there is no difference between CentOS and Red Hat. If you can deploy on CentOS, the same procedure can be used to deploy on Red Hat. So that's why learn CentOS, and if you want to use Ubuntu, that we can do later, because only the names will change. I'll give you the procedure for both, and this procedure also there in the document. So whichever you want, you can do later. But in the class, we'll be doing only CentOS. Any questions? and our class more than 60% is hands-on. So OpenStack cloud, I mean not only OpenStack cloud, if you take any cloud, so you can learn only by having hands-on. So you have to do it on your own, on your mission with your hands. You have to give the commands and you have to see what is happening. So then only you will learn the deployment and what is the cloud and how it is working. So tomorrow if you are facing some issues, you'll be able to debug on your own. So that's why what I'll be giving is I'll be showing the document how to deploy. So one after the other service will be deploying, and I'll be doing on my mission at the same time parallelly. You will be doing on your mission. So first I'll show you how to do this few steps. Then I'll give you some time. So during that time you try to do on your mission. If you are facing some issue, then immediately you can share your screen and I will jump onto your screen and I'll try to fix the issue. I'll tell you where it went wrong and we'll fix that issue and then we'll continue. So that is a mode we'll be learning. So more than 50 to 60% will be theory, not theory, practicals, hands-on. So by the end of the course, so you will be able to understand entire OpenStack architecture and how the OpenStack VM creation flow is there. So how the components are interacting with each other, and also you'll be able to understand. You'll be able to deploy OpenStack on your own, and if any issues comes, how to troubleshoot that also you'll be able to do. So that is guaranteed from our side. So till you are able to deploy OpenStack on your own, so you'll be continuing the classes. So normally it happens in 4 to 5 weeks. So, but if it is taking more time, then no problem. So we'll be continuing the class and we'll be deploying OpenStack on all your missions. So that is guaranteed from our side. So any other questions?
So are we going to install it today or what?
No, 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 no. It's not a single day process.
Okay,
So
okay,
I'll tell you. So
okay. That's fine. Thank you.
yeah. So I'll tell you. So uh, as I said, OpenStack has these many components. So in first class, we'll be learning what is cloud. So in today's class itself, we'll be learning what is cloud and what is the main usage of the cloud. And next, in tomorrow's class, we'll be learning what is virtualization and how cloud computing is possible. So cloud computing is possible only with the virtualization. So that I'll be covering in tomorrow's class. And also we'll be covering OpenStack VM creation. So in when you are creating OpenStack VM, so what are the components that will be used as part of creating the VM and how they interact with each other? That also VM creation flow also I'll be covering. Uh, no, no, no. So before that, I'll be covering OpenStack architecture. So that involves what all the components are there in OpenStack and how they interact with each other. Then we'll be covering OpenStack VM creation flow, and after that, I'll be covering Keystone. So first 2 3 classes will be theory. Then after that, OpenStack has few modules like Keystone, Glance, Nova, Neutron, Dashboard, Cinder, Heat. So these are the main modules of OpenStack. So we'll be covering theory for some time, maybe for half an hour, and after that we'll be deploying that service on our lab. So that's how we'll proceed with the deployment. One component we'll learn how it works, and after that we'll be deploying that component in our mission. So first this we'll be doing, then we'll be covering Keystone, and then we'll be doing the Keystone deployment. Is it clear, Gautam?
Yes, Satya.
Yeah. So any question, any other questions with respect to the procedure which we are following in the class. So
I'm good.
yeah, so if you want to see the course content, so this is the course content which we'll be covering. So this is what I was saying. So basics of cloud computing, then virtualization, then architecture, then I'll be explaining the VM creation flow as part of architecture only. Then we'll be learning keystone theory, then we'll be doing the keystone deployment. Then we'll be learning glance theory and we'll be doing the glance deployment, Nova theory and Nova deployment, neutron theory and neutron deployment, dashboard theory and dashboard deployment. Cinder will be learning, and also we'll be learning how to troubleshoot the issues. So there are common issues. So I'll show you some 10 or 12 issues, common issues we encounter in our day-to-day operations, and how the user, I mean, how we will be able to resolve such issues. I'll be explaining, and day-to-day operations also I'll be covering. So what are the day-to-day operations we do in OpenStack, and how to debug the issues. So let's say tomorrow, I mean, after the course, and if you are working on a project where you are using OpenStack, and if you face some issues, so then how to debug those issues. So there is a, I mean, approaches, 4 or 5 approaches are there. So I'll be telling you. So those approaches. So next heat will be covering. So these all will be covering as part of this course. And and coming back to our training institute, so we are mainly focusing on OpenStack, Python, Django, Devops, and Docker. To only cover in this, our trainings are only in this area. We are focusing majorly on cloud and DevOps and Python. And we are in this field for the last 4 years. And we have trained so far we have trained more than 500 plus candidates, and majority of them are in OpenStack only. So we started this institute with OpenStack, then we added Python, Django, then recently we added DevOps also. Yeah. So next, today we'll cover the open what is cloud computing and basics of cloud. So that we'll be covering. So you might be heard of the word cloud. So so do you know what is the meaning of the cloud? I mean, what is cloud? Can you guess? I mean, it need not be a correct answer, but I just want to know what is your
It's
understanding.
a resource where you can pull it from anywhere. I mean, it's available to like for all the people, or I mean, who have the right access. It. So let's take. You want to do a calculation. Your computer might not be able to do it, but you can use the resources present on the cloud and do it.
Yes, that is
I think
one.
it's the place where the resource is present.
Yes, that is one valid answer. Any other
It's
guesses?
like a it's like a remote data center where which we don't as an organization which we don't maintain it. Like
Yes.
different organizations can go and fetch data.
Yeah. So that is also one valid answer. So cloud computing is nothing but you'll have set of resources available at a particular location. So set of resource means that can be a infrastructure, means that are set of compute nodes, or it can be a platform. So you have set of compute nodes, and on compute nodes you have already a platform installed, and it can be a application set of applications installed on the on the platform. So these are the
So
resources. Yeah.
can you explain what is the platform out there? I mean, like an example, what does a platform
Yeah,
stand for?
that will Gautam, that will come in next slide. So that is very in detail. I'll explain. So what is infrastructure, what is platform, what is application, that will come in next slide. So let's park that question for some 2-3 minutes. I'll answer because I don't want to give a short answer. There is a detailed answer available in the next slide. Okay. So these are set of resources which are available in the cloud, and you can access these resources either from laptop or from your server or from your desktop or your from tablet or from your phone using internet. Internet is important for cloud. It can be internet or intranet. So using that internet, if you are accessing these set of resources, then it is called cloud computing. So cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. So on demand, based on your demand, you will be able to access those many shared pool of computing resources. That is called cloud computing. So next, to answer, this is a slide I was talking about. So you might be thinking, what is platform, what is infrastructure, what is software as a service? So these are the main services which cloud computing provides. One is infrastructure as a service, the second one is platform as a service, third one is software as a service. What is this? So suppose when you are talking to your colleague and you say you're learning cloud computing, then he will ask you, what is the services that cloud computing is providing? Then you should say cloud computing provides three major services. One is infrastructure as a service, second one is platform as a service, third one is software as a service. So in your when you are working, you might have heard the words IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So you might have read in newspaper also. What is IaaS? IaaS is nothing but it's called infrastructure as a service. What is PaaS? PaaS is a platform as a service. What is SaaS? Software as a service. These are the main services which cloud computing provides. So what is this? What is platform? What is software? What is SaaS? What is PaaS? What is IaaS? That we'll be learning now. So let's say you take any application. You take one product, for example, you take a Facebook product. So in order to run that product or run that application, sorry, yeah, run that application, you need all these resources. So suppose if I let's say uh, I want to install Facebook, the application on my machine. I mean, I'm talking about the product, not the browsing through facebook.com. I'm talking about the product. So let's say it can be a banking product. Let's say some bank like ICICI Bank. So they bought the banking software from some company. Let's say they bought Finacle from Infosys, and if they want to install that Finacle banking software on their machine on their environment or on their machines, then they need all these things. You need a storage. It means it should have some disk space, and you need a server. It means you need to have cores, and it needs to have RAM, and you need some networking, because these machines should communicate with each other. So for that you need to have some networking on that machine. So like you need to have IP address for that machine, and you should be able to log into that machine using IP address. That is called networking. And also that machine should have OS. Maybe based on the software you are installing, either you need to have Linux or Windows operating system on that machine. Then you need to have some middleware. Maybe based on your product, the product might be using threads, or it might be using some inter-process communication mechanism, or it might be using uh, some transaction related libraries. So it might use some middleware libraries. So that middleware libraries you need to install, and it should have some runtime environment like Java, and also it runtime environment, and also middleware database also comes as middleware. So maybe your uh, Facebook or product needs some database. For that you might be installing MySQL. So, and on top of that, your application means whatever the code you have written for opening Facebook page, and when user enters the data to store that data, you might have written some code. that you might have written using Python or PHP. So those packages, those software or binaries you'll be installing. So these are all the things are required to run your product on a machine. Do you agree or not? So these are all the things are required. So now let's go to cloud and see what cloud can offer us among these things. So let's say you went to the cloud service provider, and if the cloud service provider is providing you the hardware, means he is providing you the server. So if he is providing the server and he is providing the RAM, he is providing some disk space, and he is providing some cores, and also is providing network, then it is called infrastructure as service. It means you are not using your infrastructure, you are using your cloud service provider infrastructure. So this is called infrastructure as service. It means your cloud service provider is providing infrastructure for you. Is providing disk space, is providing CPU, is providing RAM, is providing network. Then it is called infrastructure as service. And then you will take that. So how you will provide? So what you will do is you will create a VM with the so let's say you want 16 GB RAM, 4 cores, and 2 terabyte disk space. Then you'll be telling your cloud service provider saying that I need a machine with this configuration. Then you'll be creating a VM with that configuration, and then you'll be providing VM IP, and also uh, VM IP, and also you'll be providing the login credentials of that VM. Then you'll be logging into that machine with that IP and login credentials, and after logging in, you'll be installing, your OS, middleware libraries, runtime environment, and your application packages and your application software you'll be installing. Then you'll be using your application. So in this infrastructure as service, the server, that is RAM, disk space, CPU, and storage networking is the responsibility of service provider. Whereas the remaining things are for remaining items you are responsible. That is called infrastructure as service. So next, platform as service. So in case of platform as service, the cloud service provider will be providing network, that is hardware, that is infrastructure, and also you'll be providing some operating system on it, and also you'll be providing the middleware libraries and runtime environment for you. So let's say what is platform here? What you'll be providing? So you might have heard about networking platform, telecom platform, and banking platform. So what these guys will do is, let's say I am developing an application, networking application, and that application requires networking platform. What is that? What is networking platform? So it means that networking platform will have your whatever your application requires. Some libraries it will have. Maybe your application requires a router, software router. Then your networking platform will have a software router in it. Let's say your application require a virtual switch. Then your networking platform will have virtual switch in it. So your application can make use of those virtual routers and virtual switches. That is called a platform. Even whatever Oracle provides, Oracle platform, where you can develop on that platform, where you can develop your own applications. So even you can say Android platform. What is Android? It can be considered as a platform. So you'll be on Android OS, you'll be developing your applications by making use of Android APIs. So what is that Android platform? Let's say on your application, if you want to get the date and time, then in Android there will be one API call which will give those details. So similarly, your application will make use of platform to get some details, common details. So that is platform. Gautam, is it clear what is platform? Any other questions?
Yes, it looks like an environment to run a service, right?
Yes. Not only the environment to run a service, your application, whatever is required. The main things will be there in platform. Let's say you are you are developing a banking application, then your banking application need transaction management. So that transaction management will be there in your banking platform. So the library will be there. And let's say you're when you're developing banking application, so that needs authentication and authorization of the user. Authentication module will be there in your platform. So it's like in few words, what we can say is platform is a supporting library for your application. So even your application needs a database. Database can be considered as a platform. So uh, let's say if based on which application you are developing, you have to go get only that platform. Salesforce is a
Uh,
platform. Yeah.
Satya, I have a small question. You said that let's take if I want to authenticate, I can use authenticate library from the platform. I mean, platform,
Yeah.
whatever we are using.
Yeah.
But in order to authenticate, so I need to have those users, right? So, I mean, let's take my company has 200 users. So one of them needs to be authenticated. So how can a library, I mean, of these 200 users will be present on the platform? It might be anything, right?
No, the definition is what you are saying is, there is little bit correction. The correction is platform provides only software. So the user names and configuration you have to do.
Oh,
See,
okay. It's just provides an environment,
yeah,
not the
yeah,
actual.
yeah. So I'll tell you, let's say uh, banking application I'm writing. So let's say this is banking application and it is making use of a platform, banking platform. Let's say this is banking platform and that platform has some libraries. Let's say this is a library which does authentication, and also you have a database in this. So you will have database. So if you are using this let's say this is authentication and this is a database. So when you are using this authentication in the platform, when you are using this authentication, what you have to do is first you need to add users to your database. So that will be done by the user. So let's say you have 200 users. So 200 users and their password should be there in the database. So it can be database or it can be LDAP server or it can be. So normally, all banks and companies keep their employees or customers' data in username passwords in LDAP servers or Active Directory. Active Directory for Windows and LDAP for Linux. So what happens is, let's say your banking platform, so application want to do authentication, then it will make use of the library which is available here. So when let's say you want to, when user logins to your application, then the request will go to the authentication library here, and that library will check with LDAP whether that username and password is correct or not. So that we'll be doing in our class. So in cloud, Keystone is a authentication module which does similar thing. Is it clear? So what I'm trying to say is, in platform you have software or libraries which you can make use of it, but that doesn't have any data. So the data has to be provided by the end user.
Yeah, that's clear, Satya.
Yeah, okay. So these very basic things we are discussing here. So feel free to ask any questions because I know that you till now you have not used cloud. So whatever comes in your mind, just speak out so that I can clarify. Yeah, so this is a platform. So where so here platform means you cannot for banking software you cannot buy networking platform. So based on which application you are using, so the corresponding platform you'll be buying. So let's say if you want to develop a banking application, then you will go to the service provider who is selling banking platform. If you want to develop a uh, uh, let's say networking application, then you have to buy a platform which is a networking platform. So based on your application, the corresponding platform you have to choose. So that is called platform as service. So once you get that platform, on top of that you'll be developing you'll be putting your you'll be writing or putting your application and you'll be using it. That is called platform as service. So next is software as service. So in case of software as service, the cloud service provider uh, will be providing everything for you. So he will be providing hardware for you, and he is providing the platform for you. He is providing the application for you. So what you have to do is you just have to enter that the application URL and you have to use it. Can you guess? So what all software as a service we are using? So in our daily life, we are using many software as services. So one example is, yeah,
I think online webmail.
yeah, webmail is good example. Yeah. So any other guesses? Okay. So I'll tell. So,
Netflix.
pardon, Gautam?
Netflix.
Net, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix
Yeah.
is also a software as service. Even you can consider your Gmail. Gmail is what?
Yeah.
So we are not bothered where Google is running, which hardware he is using, which platform he is using, which using which application is, I mean, which language he is using, what is the program he is writing. We are not bothered. What we do, we type gmail.com and we will use that software. Even facebook.com, all Google uh, applications, Google Drive, everything is a software as service. So platform as service, this is provided by Oracle, SAP, and networking. If you look at Cisco is providing, Ericsson is providing uh, platform as service. Banking, Infosys for providing is a banking platform that is called Finacle. And next, infrastructure as service. So there are few vendors who are providing infrastructure as service. So AT&T is giving, and there are few other players in this field. So what you have to do is, let's say based on what is the configuration you want, you have to go them and tell them this is the configuration I want. Then they will spin off one VM. I mean, they will create a one VM and they will give it to you, the credentials and IP address. You can log in with those credentials and IP address, and you can make use of that VM. So uh, here in the definition you might have seen on demand. It means today you may need two VMs. Go to the cloud service provider, he will be giving two VMs, and tomorrow you need four VMs. Go to the cloud service provider, he will be giving two more VMs. That is called on demand. And after 1 month you need only one VM. So then you can ask him to take back the remaining three VMs. So that is called on demand. Any questions about this slide? Services? So we discussed about IAS, PAS, and SAS. So in the next slides, you can see the examples. So software as service, Facebook, webmail, Google applications, and next platform as service. So these are the guys who are providing platform. AWS is considered as platform as service because AWS is providing database also. So database also can be considered as, they will give not only the VM, they are giving the database also. So that's why it is considered as platform as service. So next, infrastructure as service. So these are the companies which are giving infrastructure. So when they are giving infrastructure as service, so you have to pay monthly bill. So let's say I have taken one VM. For one VM per month, they might charge $5 or $10 based on your configuration. So obviously for uh, infrastructure it will be less. For platform it will be little bit more because he is providing not only infrastructure, he is providing platform also. For software it will be little bit higher because he is providing software also. So of course in our day-to-day life we use webmail, and also we use Google Apps, all those things. Those are free as of now. But if you take application software, then those won't be free. So you have to pay monthly. So any questions? Yeah, Gautam says I'm good. So Sheshi, okay. So these since this is a first class and introduction class, so let's end the class here. And tomorrow onwards, can we start at 10 minutes early? So I have another Python Django class at 7. So my institute is located in Nijampet Crossroad, Hyderabad. So I have to go there.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the only problem is that, I mean, I think we are a group of 4 students, right? So if at all we miss, right, you just go ahead with the class and give us the recording. Why? Because as I told you, me or Shashi would be at some time will be called out for troubleshooting purpose. So
yes,
uh, having said that, it's not like we'll be missing most of the classes, but maybe one or once or twice.
yeah. So we'll do one thing. So right now we are 3 members.
Mm-hmm.
So so what I will do is if one is missing, then
Mm-hmm.
I won't skip the class. If 2 members are
Okay.
missing, then I'll skip the class.
Okay.
So if one is missing, then I can record and I can share the recording. If
Okay.
2 members are missing, then let's skip that class and we'll have class in the next class. So is it fine if it is 10 minutes a little bit early than today's class? We
No, no,
had
no.
it.
We'll ask Shashi. Shashi, what do you think?
Yeah, I should be good. Like Satya Gautam said, sometimes I'll be in troubleshooting calls until like late. So that's the only time when I'll be missing. So other than that, yeah, 10 minutes should not be a problem for me.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's fine. So 5:50 we'll have class and 5:50 to 6:50, and yeah, we'll follow this rule. So let's say one person is missing, then we'll continue the class, and if two
Mhm.
members are missing, then we'll skip that class.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Thank you.
Because since it's a very interactive session and it's a hands-on, so I don't
Mhm.
want, if 2 persons are not there, I don't want to continue because I mean, yeah, if
Yeah, that
one
is true.
person,
That is
yeah,
true.
if
Yeah,
one person is
but
missing, then the other person can take the help. Let's say Shashi is missing, then he can take help from you. I mean, in case when he is doing it on his own, then he can take help from you. So that will be good.
yeah, yes, yes. And one more thing, yes, yes, we want to finish this as early as possible without no lag, so that we can do the other parts like like DevOps and all, like Docker and all, like DevOps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll try to complete this course by as soon as possible. That is by we started on 11th, so by 10th or 9th I'll be able to complete this class. But I
Okay.
need your cooperation. So I mean, you have to do it in the class hands-on. So you should not say that I'll do offline. So if you do in the class, so what happens is if you are facing any issue, then immediately I can look into your issue and I can fix the issue. So
Okay.
if it is offline, then I don't know what is the issue you are facing, and I may not help you properly. So if you
That's
can,
yeah.
yeah, if you can do parallelly, then it will be easy for you and also for me.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks a lot, guys. I got to leave. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Okay, okay, okay. Bye. Yeah, we'll meet tomorrow at 5:50. Thank you.